What up? It's your man Aaron Sands, and welcome to King Talk Season 4. Let's get it.
This episode was pre-recorded.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy Ken, aka Mr. Gentleman, your host of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast and 1/4 of the Premier Boy Podcast. And you are now listening to my brother Aaron King Talk Sands show, King Talk with Aaron Sands. Yeah!
King Talk, yeah, that's me. What up, it's your man's Aaron Sands. You already know what it is. Welcome to another edition of King Talk. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Hope your week went well. Hope your past couple of weeks went well. But we are back at it again. And if it hasn't went well, hopefully this episode will make it that much better. So, hope everybody is doing well this week. Hope everybody had a productive week. I'm excited to be back here with you guys for this next episode. And honestly, it's a big deal for me to be back here yet again with another episode, especially given what was transpired over the past couple of weeks and things that I've been thinking about and things that I've been reflecting on as well. So we're gonna get right into it. Before we get into it, you know what? Yeah, I'll save that to the end. We're gonna get right into it. I'm not gonna waste you guys' time. I don't like my time being wasted, so I don't want to waste your guys' time. So I'm gonna get right into it real quick. You see the title, you see the artwork. You already know what we're talking about today. We're talking about life. We're talking about these haters. I seen a couple haters. Word to real one. You know what I'm saying? Like, word to Enzo. Been watching a couple of haters. I've been seeing a couple of haters, and I want to dive into detail about how these haters could really have a negative impact in your life and how to circumvent that for you to get to your own success. But before we get into that, life's been happening, man. So I recently had a health scare, a very serious health scare that had not, had a few more minutes went by, I probably wouldn't even be here, honestly. So I tell y'all, I try to be transparent with you guys when I can. So I'll start that off to say this: asthma ain't no joke. Asthma is no joke. Let me tell y'all, like, I've been suffering with this since I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? Been suffering with asthma since I was a baby. I had to go to the doctor to get the nebulizer, sit on the machine for a minute. I was the kid who had the doctor's notes in gym class. I always had to carry an asthma pump with me. As time went on, technology got better. That you could take they actually created the machines where you could take your nebulizer home with you. You know what I'm saying? And you could use the machine like how you were using the doctor, at home, right? So, you know how it works. You put the little medicine in there or whatever. You hook it all up. It's real connectable. You puff on that for about like 20, 30 minutes, and then you good to go, right? Maybe a little shaky afterwards, but, it is what it is. So for years, I haven't had to do that. And, I just carried my asthma pump with me, just in case things, went crazy and everything like that. And things were good. For years, things were great. You know what I'm saying? Until they weren't. And in this particular instance, it wasn't. So, if you have asthma, there's times where you become short of breath and it's hard for you to catch air. For us, air is, everything. You know what I'm saying? Without it, how do you breathe? You know what I'm saying? It's hard for us to breathe as asthmatics. So one morning, I felt really, I felt myself really struggling to get breaths. You know what I'm saying? Struggling to, catch a breath. So it was difficult. And I was really nervous because this came really out of left field. And for me, it was, I wasn't really prepared. My asthma pump was not near me at all. Ambulance was called. I had to get assistance on the way to the hospital and all of that. Yeah, it was a little bit crazy. I gotta give a special thanks to the bae, wifey bae, for me, like, because she really helped me through that whole situation. If it wasn't for her, it definitely would have went left, and I don't know how that would have turned out, to be honest with you. But as I currently recovering, I'm home, I'm trying to relax. The doctors told me, re-up my meds and told me to take it easy. Don't go too hard on certain situations. Don't go too hard on the working out part for a little while, until we get the follow-up, make sure everything is up to par. So I'm still waiting on that. The jury's out on that. But looking back at this, right? Looking back at that whole situation, it makes me really appreciate life, It makes me really appreciate, the time we have here. You gotta understand, this shit is not a dress rehearsal. This life situation is not a dress rehearsal. You get one shot at this. You get one shot at being the best that you can possibly be. And, living this shit to the fullest. That's why people talk about, like, oh, YOLO and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even though, statistically, you're going to be here for a long time, and the decisions you have, you're going to have to live with for the next 50 or 60 years, depending on, how old you are, but damn, when you get close to those type of situations, when you get close to the end, what you may perceive as the end, a lot of this shit starts to take hold. You know what I'm saying? And in that moment, you're like, fuck, what do? You know what I'm saying? Like, is your family going to be okay? Is your loved ones going to be okay? Are your friends are going to be good? You know what I'm saying? The people that was there for you when this whole, when you were going through shit. People that was there for you when you were going through a lot of shit. So it's tough. It's tough to deal with. It's really a tough situation to go through. But it really, like, I don't want to be like, oh, everybody has to go through a life-threatening situation to appreciate life more. Honestly, we should be appreciating life as is, just for the mere fact of waking up in the morning. Because to be honest with you, with this situation, it was close that I wasn't able to receive that blessing, and to be very clear, it is a blessing to wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And, be able to do what you need to, for not only yourself, but like your families or, for your loved ones and what have you. So it's a big deal. But it puts a lot of things in perspective, it makes me want to, like, try to do things different, Of course, I have to change my lifestyle in certain formats because of, my health and everything like that. I'm not saying it's declining, but I don't want it to decline to the point where, where now I'm going to have to be, like, bedridden or suffering from, like, some really that's what I'm looking for. Debilitating disease, if you will. And if I'm wrong on that word, just let me know in the comments, because what I'm saying, like, some of the words that we talking about might get a little shaky. But if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But I don't want to suffer from no debilitating disease. You know what I'm saying? That would, like, really, like, fuck my whole life up or change my life in a completely different fashion. So I say all of that to say this: I know there's a lot of factors that, shape our lives, right? But ultimately, you have all the power. You have the choices. The choices you make are yours and yours alone when it comes down to this. You know what I'm saying? And only you could be responsible for that. So knowing that, you have to navigate how you do certain things. And for me, that's definitely going to be a change for me as well. I got to start taking things easy. I got to not stress out over certain things. Stress is a major killer in our community. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize that because everybody's running this rat race, but stress is a major thing. And when you take on too much of it, that shit can that shit can consume you. You know what I'm saying? And you do not want that, especially young. Honestly, I tell you right now, I'm 35, and I would never thought about, you know, if you told me 10 years ago, I'm thinking about like the end and shit. I would have told you to be crazy. We got so much life to live. But between, you know, my sister passing and, you know, me dealing with this situation with my asthma and everything like that, it's a lot. It's humbling. You know, it's really humbling, and it shows you, you know, that you don't have your whole life. You gotta take every day as a blessing. When you wake up in the morning, you know, and you lay my head to rest, I am blessed. Nah, it's crazy. When you wake up, you know, that's a blessing in itself. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't able to listen to the sound of my voice, or let alone just wake up in the morning. And that's something to really like think about. And when you think about that, also think about the fact that you were able to wake up today and, you know, lead your day positively. Now the question becomes, now that you woke up, now that you awoken, what comes next? You know what I'm saying? What's next for you? How do you make the best out of your day? I was telling my wife this yesterday. She was worried about, you know, forgetting something for work and everything like that. And I had to tell her, like, listen, don't end your day stressing about what you could have did, or what you may have forgot, or what you didn't realize that you did. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you tackled your day the very best way you knew how. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if you felt like you've done the best that you could do, then that's all you could do, and just try it again the next day. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, try it again the next day and then just push forward. It's funny I mentioned push forward, especially after you know, hearing the bro Ken and Gentleman's episode of Mr. Gentleman Lifestyle Podcast. We do all need that little push, you know what I'm saying, to get to where we want to. But I feel like it also comes down to as simple as needing that little push just to live. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not as easy. It's not as easy as advertised. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of work. But as long as you know you did the best you could on that day, you can lay your head to rest for the night and be like, hey, I did all I can do. I did the best I can do. Now let's hopefully wake up tomorrow, I could do it better. That's all you can hope for. We got to stop, you know, stressing ourselves and holding ourselves to this high ass standard that only we're holding ourselves to. You know what I'm saying? That's very important, because when you start holding yourself to these high standards that no one else is putting you up to, is just for you, you're going to end up stressing yourself out. And that's not good for your heart. So that's something to really like sit down and consider. So I just wanted to share that real quick. I just want to share that tidbit real quick, because it's something I was really dealing with, and something else, you know, the topic that I was really like, you know, honing in on for the most part. So it's something that had to be discussed. I had to discuss it because it's been on my mind heavy, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So it's really a big thing. Yeah. Like I said, I got drinking my water. So that's what I'm doing. I had to take a little water break real quick. They were like, hurry up, drink some water, get to the podcast. Don't rush me. God damn. We're gonna get to it. And yeah, we get into it now, and we get into the second half of this podcast where we talking about some haters. Talking about these haters. Shout out to Enzo. It's a lot of haters in our lives, you know what I'm saying? And to be fair, I'm gonna preface this section of the podcast with the following. I'm doing this portion of the podcast, and I'm confirming right now, I do not have beef with anybody. I don't got beef. I don't got problems. There's no back and forth friction with anybody that I have at this current time. So don't take this following section of the podcast as, as a shot situation. You know what I'm saying? As a clap back or a shot situation. It's not really nothing to do with that. This is all about people dealing with haters in their lives. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just start this shit off by saying, basically, there's a lot of people that don't fuck with you. There's a lot of people that do not fuck with you, that do not like you, no matter what you did, no matter how you did it. They just don't fuck with you because you're you, right? And you could do the absolute most. You could achieve you could achieve whatever you're working on at the highest level. Or you can achieve at the highest level, or you could achieve at or you could just starting a new situation. You know what I'm saying? End of the day, people aren't gonna fuck with you because of who you are and the type of person you are. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's something in you that they don't have, and because they don't have it, they're like, I don't like this nigga. You feel me? And I want to get candid here, so just bear with me. And honestly, that shit could be anybody. It could be strangers. It could be friends, lovers, family. Now, to be fair, is it surprising that it could be friends and family? No, because it could be anybody. But it's more disappointing that it's friends and family because, if you're in a situation of prominence, you have the opportunity to bring people with you to share those goals. And it's unfortunate when the people that you're wanting to bring with you to sit there and reap those benefits are hating on you. That's a fucked up trait because, bro, you could have been with, that person trying to build, but you want to hate on the sidelines or even worse, hate in secret. You know what I'm saying? You got people trying to dap you up, talking about, oh, they love you, they rock with you, they gonna, do X, Y, and Z for you. And then at the same time, you look up and they're hating either in secret or on the sidelines. And you don't hear about it until it's too late. And it's like, well, damn, I was trying to put you on. You feel me? I give you an example of something like that, a personal example. Then we go and get into the certain topic, get into the topics at hand, or the topics at hand that really brought me to where we are. I didn't invite a lot of people, right, to my wedding, right? And the reason being is that one, the venue was going to be pretty far, and I wanted to be sure that the people that is on, that is able to come will be able to come. Because, one, when you pay for a wedding, in some cases, you have to gauge how many people it is beforehand. And you got to pay for the people that is projected to show, not for the ones that are actually showing up. And you don't want to put people down, just because you fuck with them, and you end up paying for a plate or a seat for a person that potentially may not show up. So it's a financial thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's also a thing too, you want to, invite people that really fuck with you. So I did, and I had people call me, oh yeah, we gonna come up, we gonna pull up, it's gonna be great. Yeah, we gonna pull up, it's gonna be fire, we gonna get lit, and all that good stuff, right? Only for them not to hit up. And not only not hit up, I mean go radio silent, you know what I'm saying, on the day of or the weekend of, and in that situation, it led me to realize who was really for me and who was not, who was really rocking with me and who was not, who would have my back in one of the biggest, if not the biggest day of my life, and who didn't, even if they said they did. Because you always got to remember, saying and doing are two completely different avenues. They're not even in the same neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Now it's been May, June, July, August, September. It's been 5, damn near 6 months since the wedding, right? And basically it's just been it's been a lot, you know what I'm saying? And to this day, I still haven't heard from this person. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with that, because at a certain point in time, you can't, all you can do is just, wish people their best, give them their best, pray for them every now and again, and keep it moving. Because if you leave that shit on your brain, it will fuck with you and it will stress you out. And in the last section of this podcast, or this episode anyway, I was literally saying that, like, hey, you may come across some people that will, you may come across some folk that will, stress your shit, will stress you out. And stress will really, fuck your shit up. It will fuck your life up if you let it. Hence why you shouldn't let it. Because the minute you do, it will, it'll set you on a trajectory that you're not going to want to be on. And that's never good. It's not good at all. So don't let, you beefing with people. Like, that's why, like, lately I used to beef like crazy. I ain't gonna hold you. I used to beef like crazy. I don't beef anymore. And the reason why I don't beef anymore is because a lot of times, when you really look back at it, and you really look back at it, you know what I'm saying? Like, the beef is not worth, your energy. You know what I'm saying? You got one life. Why are you taking that to utilize, to have a back and forth with people that already showed you that they don't give a fuck about you? You know what I'm saying? Speaking of people that don't give a fuck about other people, we're going to talk about Corey Allen James. You're probably wondering, Aaron, who's Corey Allen James and what he got to do with haters? I'm glad you asked. So according to ABC 13 out in Houston, right, Corey Allen James is currently in the Harris County Jail right now. Why is he in the Harris County Jail out in Houston? Well, it's because, according to ABC 13, he was under arrest and charged with capital murder for the shooting death of a man whose mother believes he was targeted. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, Quanah Bunkley, who was age 20, he got shot in Houston, and he died at HCA Houston Northwest. RIP to the young bull. Apparently, he received a settlement from an accident. He got like $7,000, right? Next day, he cashes this check for $7,000 and ends up flashing it on social media, start being flashy and everything like that, right? Now, this is the shit that I have a problem with. And it's really in our community too, which is crazy, because whenever we get like any little type of, new income, new this, new that, new tech, new something, the first fucking thing we do is show it off to the world, show it off to social media, show it off to people who don't give two fucking fucks about you, right? They don't give a fuck about you, but yet you're showing it on social media just to say you got it, right? And I've seen this in many cases. Quanah Bunkley I see a lot of Quanah Bunkleys in Brooklyn and Poughkeepsie, in Jamaica, in the South, you know what I'm saying, in North Carolina or whatever, in LA. You see, of course, you see it everywhere. They're called rappers, right? Rappers show off what they got, talking about, I got this, I got that, just for them to get gunned down in Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. You understand what I'm saying? So we have this innate fascination of, of showing shit, of flashing shit to people that don't give a fuck about us. And niggas is hungry. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Niggas is hungry. All right. So niggas is out here, not working. Inflation's at an all-time high. Babies crying in the back. They broke. Baby mama yelling at them. Low key fucking them, the big homie drug dealer while you out here trying to get bread. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these dudes are hungry, figuratively and literally. But at the same time, they're gonna, if they see a come up, they're gonna try to come up. Now, apparently for Mr. Bunkley, this dude was supposed to be his friend, right? And what I've been saying in this podcast, you got people. It's one thing to have haters in one space, right? That you don't know, that you do not know, you don't really associate with. You feel me? There's another thing, you have haters that's like in your circle. You know what I'm saying? You got haters in your circle. You think, you could like bring them onto your journey, and in all reality, you can't. You feel me? And to be honest, Corey over here really just sat there and robbed his friend for seven bands, and then, by the way, according to ABC 13, kidnapped his girlfriend, talking about basically, quote, his girlfriend who was with him at the time was forced to drive the suspect to where he demanded to go. Where are you trying to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even then, you got to understand this shit, this karma shit is real, right? Because now you got this money, people looking at you, people looking for you, you get found, now you about to sit there and get clapped up in prison. All because you made a decision, right? You made an emotional decision to be like, hey, let me see if I can sit there and line this dude up. Nobody would know. And you were wrong. You know what I'm saying? So do I feel bad about that? No, because you're always going to have haters that's going to be around the corner and, not only pocket watching you, but also, talking down on you while bigging you up, you know what I'm saying, in your face. And that's more than likely what would have happened here. You know what I'm saying? So on one hand, and I tell you guys this all the time, and you might already know, but for those who don't, I gotta share this shit. Don't flash your shit on social media, especially when a lot of niggas on social media don't give two shits about you. They don't give a fuck about you. All right? And if they see you out here looking like a lick, you gonna get licked up, my nigga. And that's it. So it's unfortunate. RIP to, Quanah Buckley, but it's an unfortunate thing. But this is what I was talking about when it comes down to haters, man. And another example of that too, and I'm kind of going to veer off a little bit from this story to something that's been more popping and more popular recently, is Colorado. You look at Deion Sanders, right? Deion Sanders goes to Colorado, turns that program around. It was 1-11 last season. Now it's like I think they're at like 3-2 this season. They're currently 3-2. They lost the last 2 games, but when they were winning, they had that 3-game winning streak. A lot of people were supporting them. You had people coming from all over the country to check out Colorado football on a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Who was it? I think The Rock was there. Offset was there at the game. Cam and Mace was there. Shout out to Is What It Is podcast. You know what I'm saying? Always on that pause button. You know what I'm saying? But Stephen A was there. Everybody who was anybody was in Colorado these past 5 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, see what's good, trying to support. But of course, whenever there's an abundance of love, you got an abundance of hate. And you hear that a lot. If it's not the coaches, it's newscasters like Jason Whitlock, who I like to call Jason Shitlock, because, he kind of just finds his way to sell out and shit on the black community every turn, every chance, everything that comes out this man's mouth is always a plight. It's always a slight at the community that he's from, of all places. You know what I'm saying? So over the course of the weeks that they were winning, and I haven't heard anything recently, maybe because they've been losing lately or whatever. So they've been he probably hasn't been really speaking on it too much. But a lot of times, especially during a 3-game winning streak, basically you've been seeing Jason Whitlock talking mad shit, if not about Deion and how he dresses on field. It's about how flashy he is. It's not how flashy he is. It's about how his kids are flashy and talking a whole bunch of shit. And for me, and this is something I could agree with on Deion's part, it's not about being flashy. It's more about being confident, honestly. You know what I'm saying? It's more about being confident and believing in what you do and believing in yourself. You feel me? Deion Sanders went from Jackson State, and I covered this already, went from Jackson State, where even though he was getting love from the community and everything like that, you know, he was still dealing with issues. He was still dealing with people going in his office and robbing him and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So he was dealing with a lot when it came down to that. So at that point, it's like, hey, I gotta go. I gotta make a move that's beneficial for me and my family. And rightfully so. Anybody in that same predicament would do the same thing. He caught a lot of hate when he went to Colorado and left Jackson State. Even though Jackson State, in terms of a college, at least on the admin level, is running like shit because they ran through like 7 presidents in the last 13 years. You know what I'm saying? But they still hated on him anyway. They were like, "Oh, he ain't shit for leaving us behind, going to Colorado, and helping out the community over there." So basically, he caught a lot of hate leaving Colorado. He goes to Colorado and but mainly transformed that program, literally did a 180 and got triple the amount of wins that they had got last year. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, they're on a skid, but there's some promise. You know what I'm saying? But even when he was being successful there, he caught a lot of hate from the coaches trying to gauge, like, oh, how can we beat this team or whatever. And I get how, other coaches, like all teams really do that, especially in college. But, you could tell, if you been following the story, you could really tell, the backlash he's been getting for that. Especially, which is crazy because he's actually doing shit to help, young black men get to NFL and actually, help build better communities. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, could you had done that in Jackson State? Yeah, as a matter of fact, he did. A lot of the talent that you see in Colorado came from Jackson State. So now those boys, those young men, they're now getting a new type of exposure that they wasn't getting in the SWAC, that they now getting in the what was it, the Pac-12? I think they're in the Pac-12. Hold on. Yeah. Now they're getting that in the Pac-12. You feel me? So now they're getting new exposure, which leads to more scouts checking them out, which could potentially lead to, better draft placement. You know what I'm saying? And people have the nerve to still, be like, oh, well, they're just too flashy. They're not humble. Bro, confidence and humility, there aren't two different things. You could be humble, right? And still be confident in your abilities. There's always the people that aren't confident. There's always the people who have low self-esteem that want to project that bullshit, you know what I'm saying, on you. And this is less about, I'll be honest with you, this is less about Deion Sanders. This is less about Quantum Buckley. And this episode really is more about you, the listener, the fans. All right? It's more about y'all, because here it is. You're going to have people in your life, if you don't already, you're going to have people in your life smiling your fucking face, right? And then sit there and do some backhanded, underhanded shit to sit there and take you down, or talk down on your name while you're sitting there rising to your fame. You feel me? You're going to have that. That's going to be a thing. When you get to in the route of you getting to your success, you're going to come across a lot of hate. You're going to, what I'm saying? You're going to come across a lot of people that simply don't fuck with you because you're you. And to that I say, keep fucking being you. All right? Be the best person you could be. Like I said before, you only got one shot at this shit. You got one shot to be the best version of yourself you could be each and every day, right? And the last thing you need is for you to start having self-doubt of your own abilities, because people who have self-doubt on their own abilities want to cast that shit on you. Fuck them niggas. Fuck those niggas who swear that they're confident on the outside, but inside they a little shaky. So they want to sit there instead of just building themselves up and taking the time to really hone in on their own craft. So that way they can be great. You know what I'm saying? Fuck those guys who could do that and then sit there and try to project their shit on you. Because at the end of the day, you got one life to figure this shit out. You got one shot, right? You don't know if you're going to come back as a fucking human or a caterpillar. So where you at right now is your only chance for you to be like, all right, turn down the noise. Let's see what's up. And let's handle this the best way we know how. Let's handle this life shit the best way we know how. Because I'm worth achieving success. You're worth it. You're worth reaching greatness. You know what I'm saying? And if nobody ain't tell you that shit, let Aaron Sands tell you. You're worth being the best version of yourself that you can be. So go ahead and do it. You're going to be glad you did. It's going to be worth the risk. Nothing worth having is ever easy to obtain. So go obtain it. And if you fail, cool, that's fine. People fail every day. Get back up and do that shit again. Or go back to the drawing board and find new ways to build yourself up. And if that don't work, try that shit again. You know what I'm saying? And if whatever you did, if the shit you did after that didn't work, go try it again. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with falling down. There's nothing wrong with failing. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you fail, at least you started. But if you fail, the worst thing you could do is not get back up. Because then now you're defeating yourself. You know what I'm saying? And the outcomes you get from that, that's going to be on you if you decide to not, if you decide to stay down when you should be getting up. So get back up. Get back up. Try it again. Turn down the noise. Keep those around you who fuck with you. And I promise you, you're going to do great things. And I could say that, but I could make that promise because I had to do that. And it's working for me. You know what I'm saying? And if it could work for somebody like me, I'm sure it could work for you too. That's all we got for now, though. Thank you for, listening. Thank you for taking the time out to, hear me out, hear out my experiences and, take these lessons and take these King Talk gems in. You know what I'm saying? You can follow me at Aaron Sands Premier. That's Aaron Sands Premier on Instagram. Link in the description. King Talk Sands on Good Pods and Twitter. Link in the description. I'm going to try to have another episode come out sometime, if not next Friday, sometime earlier than that. Because I know I've been lacking. I know I've been behind. But, we're going to try to make it back. If it's not the studio, then it's my health. If it's not my health, it's something else. It's always something. This is what adulthood looks like. You know what I'm saying? But this is something we're working towards. This is King Talk. And if you like what you've been hearing today, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. Maybe I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Maybe you might disagree. Drop something in the comment box and let me know. You know what I'm saying? Am I on point? Was I off? You decide in the comment section. And make sure you subscribe too, wherever you're listening to. All right. But until then, it's your man's Aaron Sands, and we are out. Peace. Catch you next week. Hey, what up? It's your boy Aaron Sands, and I know you're enjoying this episode of King Talk right now, but I want to dive in a little bit and talk about the Premier Boys podcast. You got me, Aaron Sands, Ken the Gentleman, the homie Roddy Rod, and long live the Chief Mally Mal, all in the building, talking about the hottest entertainment topics, the hottest news topics, and giving our own take on what's going on out here in these streets. It can get raunchy. It could get crazy. You might even be talking about somebody's mama. Who knows? But every Wednesday at midnight, check us out on Apple, Good Pods. Don't forget to drop that 5-star rating and all wherever else you hear your podcast. Now back to the show, man.
This is Star Roddy Rod, and you are now listening to King